And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Dover International Raceways. We get ready for the running of the 15th race of Season 5 here in the Mobil 1 Cup Series. We're at the Monster Mile for the running of the 5-Hour Energy 200, a 20-lap event here today. On the point for today's race is going to be Sean Henley. Comes in 22nd in points, still mathematically eligible to get into the top 10. As a matter of fact, every one of these drivers in this field are still mathematically eligible to get up into a possible chase position, since it is still so early on in the season. Alongside of Sean Henley, a guy who really needs to get his luck turned around, that's Jordan Davis. Now, Davis is running 12th in points. He's not doing that badly, but Jordan Davis, at one point this season, was up there battling for the points lead. Bad luck has just been coming his way ever since Infineon, and we're going to see if maybe Jordan Davis can turn it around here today. The luck of the 28 Ford Mustang team. Chris Kyle going to line up on the inside of row number 2. This is a driver who really needs a good run today. Comes in 41st in the points. Really been not having the best of seasons here in his second season in the Mobil 1 Cup Series. Alongside of him is going to be rookie James King. Now, James King comes into this race currently sitting in the... Well, one second. There he is. James King comes into this race currently 27th in points. Not doing that well at all either. Some of these drivers up here, good qualifying runs, could get themselves today on the right track in steadily climbing up the ladder of the points and making it into the top 10 in points by the time we end off the regular season. Time to get these cars rolling off. We got a good points battle that we're going to be watching for today's race as well. Wyders of Otas took the points lead away from Tryfon Reed last week at Charlotte. He comes in with a 2-point advantage now over Reed, and then Lando Vendetta comes in only a total of 17 points back, so it's possible that the rookie points leader could be in the points hunt here today as well. Cars roll off. They're going to complete a couple pace laps. While they do that, we'll show you the starting grid for today's race here at Dover. The Truck Series race was a wreck fest. It even involved drivers running up at the front of the field. Will the same saga happen today, or will we have something entirely different? Sean Henley still looking for his first points-paying race of the season. He started off the season in the Snickers Cup Series, winning the Bud Shootout and the Gatorade Duel, but since then, Trucks, Mobil, and Snickers wins have been not coming in the direction of the Season 4 Snickers Cup Series champ. So we'll see if Sean Henley from the pole can get something done here today. Green flag is waving here at Dover, as Henley's going to lead him here into turn number 1. Everybody looks like they're going to be relatively smooth coming out of turn number 2, which was a trouble spot in the Truck Series race yesterday. Chris Kyle trying to get the run to the inside of Henley. Henley trying to get the outside line going. Almost some contact between himself and the 1. As Henley leads the first lap of the day, but Chris Kyle and Jordan Davis, they're on that inside line charging hard, and Chris Kyle has now cleared Sean Henley for the lead. Here comes Jordan Davis. Here comes Danny Wells right there in the 5th position right now. Coming off a great finish last week at Charlotte. Danny Wells 40th in points. So maybe he's found something that's going to be able to get him more consecutive finishes, move himself up in the point standings. Danny Wells is actually up, going to be battling for the points lead in the Snickers Cup Series when that event rolls around here. So Danny Wells, he'd love to be able to get just as much experience as he can, not only here today, but also for future reference when we get to the Snickers Cup Series race, as Chris Kyle has checked out on the field. It's about a car length and a half back to second place Jordan Davis, then another car length and a half, almost 2 car lengths now, back to Lyndon Wright, who's currently in third. Then it's Danny Wells fourth and Sean Henley back in the 5th position. Let's find out where our current points leader is running, Waidos Avotas. Stuck on the high side right now, up above of Nicole Williams, and there's a caution out. Caution waves for the first time today. Chris Kyle looks like he will be the leader under the caution flag. There's the yellow. Looks like someone spun on the front straightaway. Could have been a single car incident. And it looks like it may have involved Cole Daly. I don't know for certain who it was that was involved in this. It could have been these three. Austin Mason, Wolfgang Mason that is, and Cole Daly. But I don't know. None of these drivers look like they were damaged. May have been just a car doing a little loop around on the front straightaway, and that was it. Nobody else through this field looks damaged at all, so I can only assume it could possibly be the two of Cole Daly. We'll find that out in a moment, though. Caution waves for the first time today. Looks like it was a relatively inconsequential caution, but brought the yellow out nonetheless. Chris Kyle is the leader. Now here it was, a battle for somewhere just inside the top 30. And it was apparently Sean Galligan, the reason that this caution came out. Take a look here at them coming out of turn number 4. They're 3 wide there. Galligan, McLeod, and Charles Jackson. And right there, it was Austin Ogo who triggered that wreck. He got into McLeod, then sent him down into Galligan. And there's Jackson. He's going to get held up. He's going to get the outside retaining wall right there. But everybody does a relatively good job getting through it. Look at there. Look at Adam Chambers just barely get to the inside of the Clorox Chevy Camaro. And then Galligan going to punch the throttle and continue on. Certainly not shades of yesterday when he won his 3rd Oreo Truck Series race of the season. But Galligan was able to get away from that relatively clean, so still a chance here for him to maybe go for a weekend sweep as the caution waves for the first time today. A spin by Sean Galligan on the front straightaway brings out the yellow. Let's go back to green. We've received the signal of 1 lap to go. We'll go back to green flag racing at the halfway point, lap 10 of 20. Chris Kyle is out in front right now for Phoenix Racing. Then you got Jordan Davis second. Lyndon Wright up to third. He has really, ever since he ended up winning, he has just turned up the heat. And he has been coming. I think it was Darlington where he won, and since then he's just been putting together consecutive runs. He now finds himself up inside the top 10 in points. Danny Wells 4th, 5th Sean Henley the pole sitter. Felix Graves is now 6th. Ralph Mason, our all-star race winner, is up to 7th. 8th place John McNamara. 9th place is James King, and Dylan Young, dead last in points, up here in the 10th position. Trent Dunham is in 11th. Kyle Sosnowski, a 2-time winner this season, is 12th. 13th is Dylan Poteet. 14th is Jake Rogers. 15th Joseph Bryant. James Silverfox 16th. 17th Jeffrey Finguy. Richard Johnson 18th. Riley Ogle is 19th. And completing the top 20, that is Mark Thomas. Waidos Avotas going to start back in the 22nd position, is the current points leader. The guy running him down for the points lead, not starting any better. 39th is where Tryphon Reed will restart today's race. As the green flag comes back out, Chris Kyle going to lead us. Nobody out of the race after that incident that took place on the front straightaway. So all 42 cars are still running on the racetrack and on the lead lap. Chris Kyle got away pretty well, but so did Jordan Davis. Lyndon Wright seemed to be the guy caught napping on that restart, as he'll now fall into the clutches of Danny Wells there for 3rd place. Jordan Davis takes a peek out of the line to maybe look for the lead into turn number 1. Can't do it this time. I don't know exactly what Jordan Davis is going to have to do to be able to get to the inside of the guy roofing Chevrolet, because of the fact that Chris Kyle appears to have a good car to hold right down on that inside line. So if Jordan Davis is going to make a move, can he make it down low? If not, is it possible to pass on the high side here at Dover? Speaking of high side, the pole sitter Sean Henley's been caught up on the high side again. Just lost 5th place to Felix Graves, and now he's about to lose 6th to rookie John McNamara. So Henley may have had a car that was fast enough to get on the pole, but apparently it's not handling to his liking right now, as he cannot seem to hold the bottom. Meanwhile, we got kind of a breakaway of 2 cars, then another breakaway of 2 cars. And here goes Jordan Davis, looking to the bottom this time. And he still is not able to make the move. That may have been his moment there, but he just couldn't get the momentum to get down to the left rear quarter panel of Chris Kyle's machine for when they headed into turn 3. As these two continue to try and battle for the lead, there's another 2-car tango behind them in Lyndon Wright and Danny Wells, who are steadily reeling in these guys. So we could have a battle for first, second, or third in just mere moments here. But time is running out, 6 laps to go. They've got to start making their moves now. Chris Kyle doing the best mirror driving he can to keep all comers in his rearview mirror. Chris Kyle, if he could pick this up, it would be his first career Mobil 1 Cup Series victory. Same deal for Jordan Davis. So both these drivers trying to pick up their first win of their career in the NSCRA. Meanwhile, that 2-car has now become a 4-car pack, and it's about to become an 8-car pack because Felix Graves, John McNamara, Sean Henley, and James King, they're starting to reel them in too. Starting to become a long freight train. Dylan Young back there in 9th place, and Kyle Sosnowski is now up to 10th. Starting to become a long train now. When they come to the line, it's going to be 3 laps to go. See if anybody's got anything in store for Chris Kyle here in the closing stages. Out of turn 4, getting the signal of 3 laps to go. Chris Kyle with a rear decklet full of the Texaco Haviland Ford Mustang. Jordan Davis has made a few attempts so far. Nothing has come to fruition for him yet. He may still just be waiting for his moment. Let's see here. As he tries to close the gap up between himself and Chris Kyle, it remains somewhere between maybe 2 feet. 2 laps to go. Chris Kyle, Jordan Davis, look at Lyndon Wright and Danny Wells, how quickly they've closed the gap up. Felix Graves up in 5th there. We may not have seen a battle for position over yet. Chris Kyle, Jordan Davis, both looking for their first wins of their career. Lyndon Wright looking for his second win of the season. White flag in the air. Can Chris Kyle hold everybody off for one more lap? Chris Kyle's led every lap except the first lap of the day. That was led by Sean Henley. So it will be a pretty dominating performance for Chris Kyle if he can hold it through turn 3 and 4. Davis going to try and give it one last charge. Not even close. Chris Kyle out of turn number 4 for the final time. He picks up his first career Mobil 1 Cup Series win here at Dover. A great win for Chris Kyle and Phoenix Racing. Winning here today in the 5-Hour Energy 200 at Dover. Chris Kyle, last season, drove an underfunded Chevrolet team for Joe Gibbs Racing, finished the year 89th in points. This season's not been going much better, 41st out of 42 drivers in the current standings, but the win he gets today, who knows? That could move him up several spots in the points, and Chris Kyle now is en route to maybe getting himself up into a wild card position. You never know, as their cars are damaged on pit road. McLeod, Drew Austin, and the points leader, Wyatt Savotas. I don't know what that was all about. But regardless of the fact, this race is already completed, so we don't really need to look back at a replay. Gonna, as always, look at our top 10 finishers. Chris Kyle with the victory. Jordan Davis back to his consecutive ways. Nice to see that as he finishes second. That could put him back inside the top 10 in points, actually. Then you got Lyndon Wright. Great run for him in third. Danny Wells, second straight top 5 finish for the 54. As he gets fourth. Felix Graves, he's actually going to be able to move up into the top 10 in points too. He came in 11th in standings, so great run for him. The pole sitter Sean Henley will have to settle for 6th. John McNamara going to get 7th place. James King in 8th. Dylan Young, very nice run for him as he's dead last in points. A nice 9th place run for that Roush Fenway Ford team. And then Kyle Sosnowski, 2-time winner, he could also find himself up inside the top 10 in points after today as well, as he came in 14th in points, finishes with a top 10 here today. Where did the points leader, Wyatt Savotas, finish out the day officially? He finished in the 17th position. So Wyatt Savotas finished there. Where did Tryfon Reed finish? 41st place. Wow. And Lando Vendetta, where did he finish? 23rd. So Waitos of Otas is still going to be the points leader heading in to next week's race. So congratulations to Waitos of Otas. He was a damaged race car there. It must have been something that happened after the caution or after the checker flag wave. There he is coming back down on pit road. But a top 20 is going to keep the points lead for Waitos of Otas for at least one more week. Next week, we're going to be heading to the road course known as Thornton. These guys are going to be having a task set for them there. That track is one of the most difficult road courses I have ever seen. It's one of the longest, too. It's going to be great events that will take place there. But we're not done with the Monster Mile. It's ready still to chew up and spit out drivers in the Snickers Cup Series race. So we got ourselves a pretty nice points battle happening over in that series as well. Congratulations to Chris Kyle on his victory here today at Dover. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it is his first career victory in the NSCRA, so congratulations to him on that. If you like this race, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become a part of the crew today, and we will see you guys next time here on the NSCRA Sports Channel, Offline Racing at its best.